Hi everyone, it's Sandy. Thank you for joining me here on my channel, Septeria's Room. I have the easiest multi-pocket folio folder for you to make. It is simple and it's really quick, and you can make a few of these and put these away, and then you can have them ready when you want to add some of your ephemera pieces, paper goodies, or use it as a storage organizer for different occasions. It's also another fun way for you to add some goodies if you wanted to send one of these folders to another crafty friend. It's just a multi-purpose folder. You could also make it as a cover base for a journal, so you can add a few pages in here. I was just having fun playing with my 6x8 paper pads, and so this is what I made. And I want to show you a flip through of my completed one, and then I'm going to show you how easy it is to put one of these together. So if you are a beginner, you will be able to make one of these with minimal supplies. The fun part is then to decorate it and add all of your fun bits and pieces in here. So I'm just going to show you the paper pad that I use. It's by Park Lane. I think it's called Gloss. It's 6x8 papers, single-sided. There are just beautiful prints in here, sort of a lovely shabby vintage theme, lots of florals, and I thought this would be a great Valentine's theme paper pad to use, so I thought I'd make it into a sort of a Valentine's theme, or you can make it for a Galentine's theme for a crafty friend and send her a Galentine folder with some goodies. And so that's what I used. It is purchased here in Australia in Spotlight. I'm not too sure. I think it is also available worldwide. I'm not sure. And so this is the completed project that I made. It was so fun. I didn't realize how quick I could make one of these. So what I've done here is I decorated the front. There are I think there's about four pockets, maybe 5. We'll go through and I'll show you. So what I've done here, I did some decorating and punched out a large heart, and then laid it with a smaller heart punch just to decorate the front. And then I used one part of the side here of the heart just to hold down this little mini sort of coin envelope that I made, and I'll give you the measurements for this as well. And so when you slide the envelope, the closure just sort of is kept closed behind that, and I thought that was a nice way to decorate that. Added a couple of little sequins, made a little antique style dangle, and just pierced a little hole on the front here of the smaller heart, and added a jump ring and some seam binding. And then I used a little tiny little clasp there, you can see, so I could remove this. I was thinking of maybe making a couple of these as kits in my Etsy store. I'll still see what I can do with that, and then I'll let you know. So let me just take this out. And then there was just another little piece of some of the paper scraps that I had from the paper pad. Just sort of cut that out and made a little note card, and added another dangle with some more hearts using my heart punches, a book page. And then at the back here is another pocket. Made a simple file tab note card, just a simple little one to fit at the back here. So that goes in there. This would make a great little booklet, and add some more papers in here, so you can make this into a mini journal. So that's those. So that's how the front looks like. There's 2 angled pockets, and then I've got this bow hair clip. And I just had that on my desk. I think this was my granddaughter's hair clip, and I thought that's a great way to keep that as a closure. And so that's another way you can do that, is just use some of these hair clips with the pretty bows, and that just closes up like that. So that's how the front looks like. And then on the inside is another pocket here. And then there is a top deep loading pocket at the back. I'll just take the top. So that's the pocket at the back. And I just cut another piece of the paper from the 6x8 paper pad, and I just sort of cut it to fit inside the pocket here, and just sort of once you're happy with where you want it, I just fold the top part, sort of fold it that way so that you don't see any of the white part of the paper, and it just sort of decorates this part, and that's just sort of like a closure of the note card. Added some more heart shape from my heart punch. I made a little library pocket here in the front just because it was pretty plain, and made another little note card with just a little pull tab here at the top. Punched out the heart piece there. I lost the little heart when I punched. I couldn't find where it went, and I wanted to put that on the top here, and I couldn't find it. But if you decide you wanted to do that, that would be a great way. Use that little heart piece, and you can glue it to your cover or down your pocket. And I did add a piece of vellum to the middle just to add a bit of texture to the folder, and I like adding some vellum into the folder if I can. And so this is where I just done that. So when I said you can add some papers in here and make this as a journal cover, you just, the part here in the middle where it folds, you fold your papers, and then you can sew it, or you can just add some elastic, and then you've got a signature of pages in the middle. So that's just another way to do that. Over here is another 2 angled pockets. Some were just some of the cutter parts, some of the scrap papers that I had. I just thought that would be a nice way to tuck some tags in there like that. And then at the back here is another angled pocket, and just made another note card and punched out a file tab shape with my file tab punch to create like a pull tab note card. And then at the back is another of the same pocket like this one, and just added another one of these. And I made this one a little bit taller, just so when you close your folder, so this one's a little bit taller where I folded than this one, just so that you could see the nice 2 different patterns peeking at the top. I think that makes it fun to look at. And the same thing, just folding the top over and then placing it in there. And then I use one of my hidden paper clips with gold glitter cardstock to just keep that part closed. And then I did some extra trim here with some of my lace just to decorate the edge. And also just to, sorry, I'm just trying to put it fumbly here. Also added some trim here along the edge of the library pocket, just so that it has a nice lace trim. And so that's the folder. I'm really sorry if you hear the barking in the background. That's not Jester. That's my daughter's dog. She's got a cavoodle, and she's at the front door. And I thought my husband closed the front door. So that is that. So you can see all the bits and pieces that I was able to add inside in here. So let's make one of these. I'm going to give you the measurements as well to make the envelope. We'll also add this library pocket, and we'll make the whole base of the folder. So let me take these out so you can see how it looks like. So this is the whole pocket. Says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if you want to add this one. And I was able to fit a few things. All right, so let's make one of these. It is, I think when you make these, you're going to want to make a few more of these because it's so easy. And so what I've got here, I have 3 6x8 papers. They are single-sided, so great for single-sided papers. So they're 6x8 in size, 3 pieces. And if you wanted to add a piece of vellum to the middle, if you don't have any vellum or tracing paper, you can just add another piece of your papers to add that to the middle. And that piece is at 4 inches by 6 inches. And for the little mini coin envelope, that is 3 inches by 6 inches. And you can make 2 of these if you have a 6 by 6 paper. So then you could add 2 of these little envelopes, one inside here and maybe another one inside. So you can make 2 of those envelopes, but I'm just going to make 1. And for the little library pocket here, you want to cut that piece at 2 1/4 inches by 4 inches. And I will put the measurements down below for you on the sizes of the papers that you need to cut out. And so there is minimal measuring for all of this, so it's going to be really easy. All right, what we'll do first, let's make the base. And all you're going to do is fold each of these papers in half on the 8-inch side. So you're just going to fold them in half. You can use your scoreboard if you want a nice crease. I'm just going to grab my... So let's fold all 4 of these. And this paper that I'm using from Parkland, it's not thin paper. It's a little bit like of a medium cardstock. It's like a cardstock, but it's still so I'm still able to create the folio, even though the paper is a little bit thick. So it's still not bulky, which is good. So here we have 3 all folded in half. And then what you just want to decide is this paper here is the middle. You can't see the back, but this is the middle, or if you what you want showing there, you just decide which one. I think I'm going to probably go with this one. No, I'll probably go with this one. So this piece is this part. And then this piece here, the middle part, that is also going to be the part that's showing here. So you just choose which side you want. And I think I'm going to use this one. So that's going to get placed in there like that for now. And then this piece here, which then is this part at the back, is going to be this piece. And then that piece, I'm going to place that in like that. So all it is just this piece is in the middle. Then you're going to have this piece going that way. And then the other one also going in like that. So both the folds are like that. So that's how it's going to look. That's the inside. All right, and all we're going to do here is this piece here that's folded out, we're just going to angle cut that up. And then we're also going to do this one, but we'll use this one as a template. So I'm going to grab this piece out, and that is going to get angle cut, and it'll be like this one here in the middle. And I'm just going to slide this out. And I'm just going to go up about 2 inches here, and then going in about 1/2 inch there. So about 2 inches, and then I'm going to angle cut it up 1/2 inch in. Just roughly. You don't really need to measure it. If you want to, you can go ahead. I'm just going to roughly, I think it's about there, and then here, cut that. And then you've got this piece, which was that one. We're going to put that piece to the side. And that's going to go in there like that. So you can see that. Now let's grab this piece out. I'm going to use this one as my template. So I've got the same angle cut. So I'm just going to slide that in like that. And then I can cut that so then they're both the same angle. Cut that. So I've got this piece, I'll put that to the side. So now I've got two pieces cut out at the same angle. And now I can go ahead and grab this one, slide that in, and then slide that in. And there you have this pocket. And when you open it up, you're going to have that pocket. And all we do now is we can glue down the front pocket first. I'll take that out. We can go ahead and we can glue this part down, and we're going to add glue here. And that will close up the front part of the pocket. So we can slide that in. Just make sure it all lines up nicely. So that part's done. Got that pocket, will go in here. If you think it's catching on with this edge of this paper and it's catching and it's folding, you can just slightly trim off that little piece. And then we'll do the same with this side. It's going in that way. We're going to do the same and add glue along here. And we'll put that in. And I'm just going to grab my circle punch because we need to make the top pockets now. See if that's catching, we can trim that off a bit, which I think I might do. And grab a circle punch. Doesn't matter what size you have. I'm just going to use my 2-inch one. And I might just trim off this little bit off. Just a tiny bit. I want it catching. So just about that much. Okay, let's close that back up. So that part is done, and now what we're going to do, we're going to create this top pocket and that one. So to do that, we are just going to punch a notch on this one and punch a notch on that side. That's one. And I'll open that up and we'll do one over here. So now we've got these two notches, and that's going to be a top pocket there and one on that side. Now before we close this part, I'm going to add the vellum piece. Actually, what I'll do is, let's go to the back. Let's close this one completely. So this one's not lined up. So before, make sure it all lines up nicely when you make your pocket. I tend to rush a little bit when I do tutorials. Because sometimes it's sort of hard to work out where I am. So there we go, that's all done. So now let's just glue this back part and we'll complete this pocket. So we're just going to glue here and the bottom. So that way it's not flapping around. So that's all glued there. We've got that pocket all done. Let's work on this side. And I'm just going to grab the vellum, or you've got tracing paper. I'm just going to make, actually, let's use a score. You don't have to use, actually, you know what? Let's not use a scoreboard. On one side, we're just going to do a slight little fold. I want to try and do this without the scoreboard because I know not everyone has a scoreboard, but I would still like to make one of these folders. So just a little fold. Just going to cut these little angles to make it easy. And this part here, we're going to add glue, and that's going to slide in there, and that will give us that little flip page. So I'm going to glue that down. And add glue, don't add it right on the edge of the fold, just go away of the fold a little bit. And then we'll slide that in. And keeping the fold just a little bit away of the edge, just so that this can open and you can flip the page easily. So now that's glued to the back there. And now we can glue that part down, and now we've got the, so we just add glue here. And glue on this side. This will give us the top pocket for this page. Okay, so now we have that pocket that's going to be at the front, and then you go this way, you've got that pocket at the back, you'll have that pocket and then this pocket, and now we're going to add the little pocket here in the front as well as this one, and that's using these two pieces. And you can then just decide which one you'd like to put on the front. So I'll use this one, so it's 3 different patterns. And then I'll use this one at the back, so it's the same as that one. And then we just glue that down. You could place this on this side too if you want. If you want to place it on this side, just trim off that little excess piece there, and you've got a pocket here. So you can decide where you want that piece. But I'll make it the same as what I have. So I'm going to glue that down, and that's just gluing the 2 sides. That's one done. And I'm going to place this one over here. So there we have all of our pockets all done, and then you just decorate the front with however you like to decorate it. And now we're going to make the other 2 little extra pieces. If you wanted to add these to the folder, I'm going to make the little pocket that's in the front, and you've seen me make a few of these in the past. Really easy. It's just scoring. I have to use a scoreboard for this. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can just fold these over. If you want, I'm just going to use a scoreboard. I'm just going to score 3 sides at 1/4 of an inch on 3 sides. I'm going in at 1/4 of an inch. 1, 2, and 3. And if you don't want to use a scoreboard and you just want to not worry about creating these side flaps, you can just cut your paper to the width of this or even smaller, and just glue down the 3 sides and stick it down. It just means it's a little bit tight for your pocket. But if you have these 3 side flaps closed in, you've got a little bit more room to add more little extra pieces of ephemera, or something that maybe will have a little bit more thickness. It just gives you more room for your pocket. I'm just going to offset to that just to make it a bit more decorative. And then I'm just going to place it this way. You can even go that way if you want your pocket long ways that way. You just decide what you like. I think I made this one a little too much bigger than that one. Actually, sorry. I think the measurement for this was, I can't remember. I made this pocket. Let me just double check. I think it was 4 inches. Sorry. Must have been 4 inches. Yeah, so I think the measurements for this piece, you cut at 4 inches. I've done it wrong, so let me just cut a piece of this out. It's a little too long. I'm just going to guess now. Okay, let me just add. Forgot what the measurement was. It was 4 inches. Sorry. So this pocket piece is 4 inches by 2¼ inches. I do apologize. I sometimes make mistakes with my measurements. And then I get some of you correcting me in the comments, which I'm thankful for, because I hate for you to make it and then it's the wrong measurements and I've made you waste your papers. So if I do make a mistake of my measurements, please let me know, and then I'm able to make a note of it on my video. So that helps me to know as well. So that pocket's all done. Same as this one. I think this is a bit higher too, but you can make your pocket higher too if you want. I'm just giving you the basic way to make it. So that's done. And the glue, and let's make the envelope. I will get the measurements right for this one because I've made these envelopes many times. So this has got a directional pattern. I want the closure with the heart facing the right way. So that's going to be this part here. So I'm just going to have it going that way, because that's going to be the closure part. So we're just going to score it at, on the 6-inch side, I'm going to score it at 2¼ inches and 5 inches. So that's 2¼ inches and 5 inches, and then I'm just going to score on both sides, going in at 1/4 inch. That way, 1/4 inch. And you can see that part where the closure is. We are going to remove these 2 pieces and these 2 pieces. So that's one piece, and I'm going to remove this piece. These are probably one of my favorite envelopes to make. I even make my digitals in this sort of style envelope. I think it's easy to make and put together. I'll just fold these 2 pieces in and create a notch if you wanted to do that. And then you can corner around the 2 tops, but I haven't got that with me. So I'm just going to fold that up and then that will get folded down, and that's your closure. So now you've got the measurements to make little small coin envelopes. And I didn't coin around those, so that can go in the front like I have. And then I think that is it. Let me just put all this to the side and give you another quick flip through look at it. I love this folio. I think I'm going to make a few more of these in different papers. I might even use my digitals to make these as well. So we have the same one, so that's the same. Pocket, there's your pocket there. And then you've got the opening for your top pocket. Oops, got a bit of glue there. That's that one. And the same as that one. Oops. There's your pocket there. Your vellum page, pocket, 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 and pocket. And then you could even go further and add another pocket like this one if you like. At the back here, make it a little bit higher for another tuck pocket. So there is another space here for you to play around with. But I just wanted to share with you another way to use your 6x8 papers and make a multi-pocket folio folder. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial and video, and I'll see you all soon in my next video. Bye for now.